Ladies and gentlemen, what a fantastic video to be able to sit here and make. Reaching 10,000 subscribers is no small achievement by any means. There's a lot of YouTubers that never ever reach 10,000 subscribers. There's fewer that reached 10,000 in a year, and even less that reached 10,000 subscribers 3 months after their first video was posted. The fact that I fall into that category, it takes this to a whole new level for me. It's mind-blowing, to say the least. I just want to start out, before we get to the Q&A of this, by giving you guys a little present. Now, some of you have seen this on Twitter or Discord, but I'd mentioned that my microphone was dying, and the old boy has packed in now, and you can probably see here, I've had to replace it. Now, this has been the cause of so many audio issues that I have treated you all to the best microphone known to man. Now, I've got a part coming for it tomorrow that's going to make this sound crisp. But already this is a huge, huge upgrade. And this is my treat to you guys for 10,000 subscribers and 500,000 video views. In fact, I think we're near 660,000 now, so we've just blazed past that as well. It feels surreal to sit here and say these numbers. Like, in my head is one thing, but saying them out loud just sounds insane. Like, absolutely insane. Now, I asked on YouTube and Discord if you guys have any questions, because I figured for 10k, you guys should get to know me a bit better. I mean, I've been around for 3 months. A few of you know me quite well from within Discord. As for the rest of you, you know almost nothing about me. So I have a list of questions here, and we're going to quick fire through some of them. The Kind Kitten asks, the most important question of all, do you like hugs? Yeah, who doesn't? Question 2, these names are going to be ridiculous because they're all from Discord. My Asset Pack Left Me asks, how many marshmallows can you fit in your mouth? I haven't tried, because I'm type 1 diabetic, so it probably wouldn't end very well. But I'd guess a lot. I'd guess a lot. Soundy asks, what is your Mackey's order? That's a good one. Now, I normally stick between two. Large Big Mac meal and a Diet Coke, or, what do I normally have for breakfast? Double sausage and egg muffin meal with a latte. That's got to be... Oh, and an extra hash brown. You know, you can't forget that. Not or Killster Advice asks, real question. You mentioned in one of your earlier videos that you were looking forward to showing off a game project that you were working on at the time. Are you still planning on doing this, or has this been delayed a bit by E2 and the likes? Yes, so this is something you're going to see very soon, actually. I have combined the tech that I was working on for my previous game project, and we're actually merging it into a community project that will be announced soon. I think a lot of people are going to really enjoy this, and you will be able to follow along in the form of game devlog videos that I'll be posting, which is actually quite exciting because of the amount of people that have already applied to join in with this. It's insane. We've got like 40, 50, 60 applications. MMO Interactive asks, what are your plans for your channel beyond the Earth 2 and Dreamworld scams? Since I've been watching, it seems like those two scams have really been the focus of your major growth. What would you like to see your channel cover once this dust settles? Another really good question, and I think that a lot of people have probably got this question. There are always going to be scams and idiots trying to scam people. We've got 2 scams that I'm looking into covering in the next couple of weeks, that are, one of which is potentially incredibly big, as it's been going on for about 10 years, and as far as I can see, nobody's caught on to it except the person that tipped me off on it. And yeah, this is a very, very big one. But aside from scams, there won't always, at any given time, be scams. So like I answered in the previous question, I'll be focusing on game development as well, of development of our game. And these will come in probably monthly or bi-weekly devlogs, depending on how quick progress is made. And I'll be taking people along for every step of the way, pitfalls and everything included, you know, mistakes will be included. Runtimus asks, how on earth did you become such a stallion? I was just born that way, baby. My coding skills left me asked, did you think that you would get to 10k at such a quick pace when you started out? I didn't think I'd ever get to 10k. This has been so bizarre for me because I made a single video in the hopes that I could stop a few people getting scammed if they just searched the word dream world. And hopefully my video would have shown them, okay, this isn't at all what I thought it was. I'll back out. In fact, I've had emails and messages from about 40 or 50 people now saying that I've helped them decide not to go ahead with Dreamworld. Because, again, it was not at all what they thought it was. So I'm happy with that, including one person that did back for £2,000 and pulled out. So that's how I started out. And that's what I expected that to be the end of it. I expected I'd make one video, clarify the scam to everyone, and that's it. Here we are 3 months later. After the first video, people kept coming to me saying, do you know about this information and that information? I'm here like, yeah. And they're like, so why don't you make a video on it? No one else is. So I started making the follow-ups, and then it naturally just progressed into these rabbit holes just unraveling, you know, like, thinking about it now, it's so strange that that's how this has unfolded. It's really bizarre to me. But no, I did not expect to get to 10,000 at all. I didn't expect to get to 1,000. I think people remember me sat there in absolute shock after the second video that I'd hit 1,000 subscribers. To me, that was mind-blowing. And now that I'm sat here at 10,000, that just... I actually don't have words for it. It's just surreal. It really is. Okay, very similar to the last question. The button asks, your very first video was not even 3 months ago. If Dreamworld had never existed, would you have still made a YouTube channel then or ever? And if so, would it have had the same focus? Scams, Kickstarters, both good and bad, etc. That is a very good question. I don't think I'd have ever picked this as a topic. Like, knowingly. I don't think I would have ever picked this. Because it wasn't something that was in, like, the forefront of my mind. I made that first video and had never set out to become this, but I've become this, which is I'm actually really grateful of, because it's not an area that I thought I was going to ever see myself in, and here I am, 3 months in, 10,000 subscribers later, and this is me now, and I'm actually really happy about that, and as I'm sure a lot of you are. Okay, another question from my asset pack left me: snake case or camel case? Okay, that's a good question. For those who don't know, that's referring to when programming, you're not allowed spaces in variables. So do you either put it all as one word with just capital letters, or do you underscore it? Snake case is underscoring between words. Camel case is capitalization of letters. This is going to be something that a lot of people don't like the answer to. Snake case. I don't like camel case at all. And I think the reason for that is because the PyCharm editor, which is what I use, the IDE, screams at you for using camel case. So I just avoid it. Okay, so on YouTube, Zayad asks, are you a game developer or have previous experience in it? I have never released a public 3D game. I have had a lot of personal experience in it, so I guess I'm as qualified as Zach. I've worked on a lot of projects for people, freelance, mostly making game systems and stuff like that. I don't know if a lot of those games ever actually released in the end, but it's mostly been freelance work for me and a lot of personal projects. I've used game engines for special effects, mixed reality, augmented reality, VR projects, a lot of stuff like that, a lot of demos, but I've never been officially employed as a game developer. Okay, next one has not been explicitly asked on any of the channels for this Q&A, but it's a question that I've actually been DM'd a lot, so I feel it's worth answering just so I don't have to be DM'd as much about it. So one of the questions I got, and I got this as a DM, I'm not going to name the person because I've been asked this by about 6 people. Hey, doesn't bother me, just wanted to ask this, are you gay? So, no, I'm not. I'm straight. There's a few people that assume that I'm gay or bi. I don't know why, to be honest. It's an interesting one, but no, I'm straight. Okay, Nene asks on YouTube, what would be your advice to a game developer that doesn't have a great 3D modeling skill set and is very limited and has a very limited budget to hire an outsourced 3D modeler to not fall into the asset flipping status? My advice would be to try and find somebody who is passionate about wanting to start a project and both go in together with no money. It's not easy to do. It's not ideal, but if you truly don't have a budget and your skills aren't that great, the only two options you really have is to learn 3D modeling or to find a 3D modeler that wants to go in on a project with you and potentially do revenue share of a project, or just to do it for the fun and the experience. Algron says on YouTube, what are some of your favourite music artists? Also wish you everything good and lots of success with the future. You probably know him already, but I cannot recommend the album Offworld by Celldweller. I have heard that album and I do like it. So, favourite music artists. Ooh, that's a tough one. Let me pull up my Spotify and I'll take a look at what I've recently been listening to. Avenged Sevenfold is up there. Avenged Sevenfold's a big one for me. Who else have we got? Five Finger Death Punch. I do like a bit of Skrillex, to be honest. Depending. If it's Skrillex featuring someone, it's usually really good. 3 Days Grace. Gotta love The Neighbourhood. Can't go wrong. Breaking Benjamin. Yeah, that seems to be about all I listened to recently. So, yeah, there's your answer. Interesting question. Not one I was expecting, but... Wintertide Studio asks, what is an online role-playing game or MMO feature that you think is missing? If none, what is the best feature and why? Now, it depends. Now, this isn't missing from everything, but I feel that this is massively missing recently. And it's not so much a feature, it's more of a design choice. In my opinion, MMOs and RPGs are being built backwards. They're being built with money in mind first, and then they try and cram features in around the money. If we go back and look at something like RuneScape when it first came out, that was a passion project that never even had money as a thought. Money was pretty much the last thing that came into this project. Started off with a story, a setting, a world. They then decided this fits an MMORPG perfectly. We'll do it as that. Then all the systems that were fit in didn't even take money into account. I think passion is one of the biggest things that's missing right now from MMOs and RPGs. Okay, Anonym asks, regarding your video on the new version of the Unreal Engine, how would you judge the future of in-house/specialized engines? Is there any value for indie devs to invest in the lower level aspect of game development, or will things get completely mainstreamed with tools like this? So this is speculation, of course. I truly believe Unreal Engine 5 is going to just crush everything for at least the next 5 to 10 years. In-house engines are going to fall so far behind with Nanite and Lumin that I think that unless they pull some serious features out, they're going to have to move to Unreal Engine 5. Because Unreal Engine 5 allows for a much wider scale of games, bigger, more open worlds. Sure, for 2D games and that, it doesn't really matter. But that's not where mainstream games are heading right now. So I personally, and this is an opinion that a lot of people will disagree with, and I understand why, I personally believe that this will be almost the nail in the coffin for Unity. Because I don't see Unity pulling anything out of the bag. Okay, and this is a question that I've got a lot. This is from Jacktin Jane. Question, what's up with the odd size ratio of your videos? I don't run into that often on this platform besides the defunct pre-smartphone channels. Is it your specific camera type? So, it's actually nothing to do with the camera. It's to do with my monitor. So I actually run a main monitor that is a 21:9 aspect ratio, ultra wide. I could make videos in regular aspect ratio, but then I'd have to take footage that I'm making and like size it on the screen, hoping I get the aspect ratio right, and then record it. That's a lot of work to edit in post, though. This is something I was going to ask people in a poll, whether people would like me to, at some point in the future, buy a regular 16:9 monitor and just make regular aspect ratio videos. I wouldn't be against it, but again, that's something for you guys to decide on. It's really up to you. Okay, next one. Kaluza asks, do you plan on buying a Tesla? I do. I've got my little one to make do until, but I do plan on buying a Tesla. As many of you know, I am a big Tesla fan. Even though they're all Elon Musk, but that was just a joke that kind of unfolded from the Tesla thing. But yes, I do plan on buying a Tesla. Okay, and as a last question, Fred Durst Guitar Solo asks, what are some small features or anything that you really appreciate from developers? For example, I really appreciate when I can look at my own body and the perspective and animations are just right. Okay, so you've actually hit one of the features that I really like, sort of. For me, animation blending is so important when I found out how easy it was to do, and I found out that so many studios don't do it. It kind of blew my mind. It's such a little touch that makes a world of difference. So, for example, let's say in a game you're fishing, and all of a sudden you decide you're going to turn away and walk. In a lot of games, you will just snap, you'll stop your fishing animation, and you'll just immediately start into the walking animation. Some games, and I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, for the fishing example anyway, as soon as you start to turn away and cancel the fishing action, the animation doesn't just disappear. Like, you know, you do an animation where you're putting the fishing rod on your back as you're walking away. So it's blending the two animations. That's so easy to do, and so few games actually do it now, that it kind of annoys me. And the next one is correct use of PBR materials. So PBR, for those who don't know, physically based rendering. That's where you've got your roughness, your metallic, all those things. People who use the metallic part of PBR correctly and don't overshine something, you know, it's just got that subtle shine to it to just give you that, you know, still the believability that it's metal. Doing it wrong would be just getting like a sword, for example, and just putting a reflective material on there and then saying, yeah, that's chrome or that's steel. I prefer it when it's like a hand-painted texture for metal, and then there's a slight sheen on top of that, and it just looks fantastic. And so few do that correctly. But yeah, that's a good question for the last one. Guys, I really appreciate the questions that you've all left, and we'll definitely get around to doing another Q&A at some point, as there were even more questions than that. And I've tried to get as many as I could in, but I don't want this video to go on forever. After this video's finished premiering, we're going to be live over on Twitch, having a little 10k celebratory marbles race, hanging out. I'll be answering more of these questions. As always, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Again, a massive, massive thank you for getting us to 10,000 subscribers and 500,000 views. It still sounds crazy to me to just say it out loud. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this has enlightened you a little bit, brought you a bit of insight into my life. Probably not so much into my actual life, but my YouTube, my online life. And I'll see you guys over on Twitch. Again, a massive thank you to all the Patreons. You guys have pushed this channel so far, even in the 3 months that we've been going. I can't thank you enough. Thank you to Zane and Cassius for being top tier patrons.